the amount of ground you can cover. Second question is, have you ever found dinosaur bones? Would they all be dissolved by now?
We found whale bones.
Yeah, last year we had a cruise. We found like a whole bunch of beaked whale jaw bones. It was like 4 or 5 of them.
There's a coral over there. Can we look at it?
So,
but like fossils.
So the first point is we do some zigzags. So because we have the tether, then when we have the vehicle, especially when the ship is stopped, it gives us the flexibility that Herc can swim out from one side to the other, away from Atalanta. But when we're
nice half zoom on
moving
this.
across close terrain or steep terrain like this, we don't have that quite as much of a flexibility to do that. The main reason we wouldn't find dinosaur bones isn't because they would dissolve.
Right,
It's
going
because there's hardly any of the ocean floor that's actually as old as the dinosaurs. Although the Earth is thousands of millions of years old, plate tectonics means that ocean crust gets generated and then it goes back down subduction zone trenches. So any of the seafloor that ever had dinosaur bones on it has mostly been recycled back into the mantle and has been melted rather than dissolved.
Is that a massive spine on the right, or is that some sponge remnant? You've just gone over it. It's
there
lower.
was a sponge over there.
It was pretty big.
It looked like sponge remnant, Mary.
It looked like sponge.
There was a polyopogon over there. But we've seen a lot of them, so I didn't stop to look at it. So I didn't want to get behind.
Yeah, no worries.
We're going to keep moving. Oh,
Bonk.
bonk. There it is. A rock, big rock. Oh, it's a very big rock. Very big rock.
She's coming up pretty fast, I think. Thanks for...
Gotta watch that sonar.
Yeah, cliff on Atalanta's not that far away, right?
Oh, maybe on top of this cliff we'll have some more living
This
stuff.
could be the good stuff waiting for us, right? Just put on the jetpacks.
You have some time to work your way up this. Atalanta's is maybe got 10 meters of layback.
Okay.
And I'm not sure it's actually going to move in much further.
Yeah, I think.
We just need some elevator music as we come up. Third floor, rocks. Fourth floor, you are now arriving in deep sea corals.
There's a yellow thing on that rock.
That's kind of a cool little image. It's like moving up and down through
Is that the yellow thing that you were saying?
It is not. The yellow thing I saw is on the corner here.
Yes, you're watching live.
I think that's a dead base.
Dead base?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can we snap zoom on this?
Yep.
This looks floaty and squishy. That's a sponge. Okay, we can zoom out.
Zoom it up.
Let's keep going up.
And what's this one that Mary saw?
Yeah, okay, you can zoom in on that.
Zooming in.
It's a barnacle. Okay, zoom out.
Oh.
Was that another one under the lasers?
I don't see anything.
I saw something just there.
Oh, that's just sediment.
There's a coral or something. Is it that? I don't know what that is. I saw it in upper, but I can't see where it is in there.
Okay, we're getting to the top.
Perspective view in upper is quite spectacular at the moment.
Yeah.
How everything drops away beneath us.
We are 2,108 meters below, and the question is, what's the pressure like at this depth and the temperature?
The temperature is almost as
2.
cold as Yorkshire.
2.15 right now.
2.15 centimeter cold.
I was having that conversation with family members after one of the recent watches of it may not be wetter than Yorkshire at 600 meters, they said, on the seafloor, but it's definitely warmer than Yorkshire.
Yep.
Yep.
And the pressure at these depths, about 200 times atmospheric pressure. And that equates to multiple pygmy elephants standing on your big toenail. But I can't remember the conversion. Gabby might have to remind me of how you go from bars to PSI, so we could work that one out.
I don't know it off the top of my head. I'd have to
It was
ask
like
the
2 to 1.
Oracle.
I can tell you, but
It
I
was,
also...
It was in one of our earlier dives. We worked out it was the same as
ready for a
9
move?
pygmy elephants
Yeah, I think we're
sitting on a toenail.
Bridge
Big elements,
nav.
yeah.
It was plenty. Enough to make you go, ouch.
Can I have a move? 20 meters at 090.
I do have a collection from earlier in my career when styrofoam cups was still a thing that got manufactured, where I have a series of different depths, taking the same size styrofoam cup and decorating them and then squishing them to different sizes. So, and definitely 2,000 meters is getting there, but you can still squish them more if you go to 3,500 or 5,000.
Yeah. We got one from last year down at 3,500. That was pretty fun.
Yep.
So here we have about 3,000 psi, pounds per square inch.
About 3,000, 2,000.
3,000.
Yeah, so I don't know, from diving, 3,000 psi is just over 2 bar, like a 2.5 bar or something like that. People are asking about bars.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, 10 meters is the same as a bar.
Right. So we're at 210 bar right now.
Yeah.
I don't really know psi.
Which is about psi. Or it's about 3,000 psi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the answer is 15.
Yes.
1 bar is 15 psi.
1 bar is 15 psi.
I think so. If 200 bars, 200
That-
bars is 3,000 psi.
Around
then
that.
Yeah.
That's a nice sponge. Or
Don't get
say-
yourself too
number I
much
will
more
try and
stretched out
remember
there, Megan.
next
Yeah.
time I'm doing a
Yeah.
Nautilus cruise. It's not the first time we've had the question. Wonder if we gave the same answer last time.
Come down a bit too. Got a question. How do such soft creatures exist in such high pressures?
We're just very, very calm individuals in the van.
Yeah. They handle well under
those,
pressure.
you mean the ones at the bottom of the sea?
not the ones in the van.
Mostly, I think, because they're pretty much water-filled things. So the pressure on the inside and the pressure on the outside of the organism is pretty much the same. They are basically hollow and don't feel the pressure inside or out.
Got another question. For fans of these dives, there were fewer this summer than in the past Okeanos and Nautilus. Is there another live stream you would recommend with scientists on board or online?
The Felcor does live streaming, and we partner with them often.
So their organization is the Schmidt Ocean Institute. So that would be another one
Go for Zoom.
Go for Zoom.
to check out.
Little polyopgon.
The other thing that has live streaming all the time, it
Okay,
doesn't have the
zoom out.
same science commentary, but there are various ocean networks now which have permanent cables running ashore. So there's the Ocean Networks Canada and the Ocean Observatory Initiative in the US. They're both in the Pacific Northwest, or offshore from kind of Vancouver Island and offshore from Seattle. So they have all kinds of things going on there. There's instruments in place, but they have cameras targeting different vent sites. So if ever you need a hydrothermal vent fix, you can just dial it up and
cool.
stream that live.
Oh, do you have that bookmarked?
Mary and I had a cruise.
Yeah.
Mary and I had a cruise last year where we were actually over the top of their observatory,
Oh,
and then
nice.
we were streaming data from their current meters on the seafloor that were being, their current meter data was being piped ashore via cable
Mhm.
and then being streamed online, and then we were streaming it back to the ship so we knew which way the current was blowing on the seafloor while we had Sentry driving around doing our surveys for us.
It was very helpful on that cruise because it means that when you're trying to look for the plume signatures in the water column, you have a pretty good idea which direction to head in to find them. And here, the currents are much less well described. This region in general is much more remote, and there's not an observatory station with current meters. Also, Megan, just to the left is a really big thing. Coral, sponge.
Dead sponge.
Dead sponge? Okay. So we sometimes found that the plume was in a slightly unexpected location because we didn't know what the currents were doing in the water column.
Should be a live coral just ahead of you to the right, Megan.
Oh yeah, there is a live coral over there.
There's also a
We
little
got a live one.
sponge next to this rock in the middle.
Okay, you ready for another move?
Sure.
Do you want to look at this coral
Bridge
first, just to
nav.
get eyes on it?
And what's this swimming spidery thing?
Crinoid. Can I have
Crinoid.
another move? 20 meters,
no, can you zoom in?
090. The only one I know.
What kind of coral is that?
This looks like a bamboo. Let's see.
Do you think this is live enough for an
Oh,
escape?
it's a primnoid.
There's
I
more
don't know.
going on than we've seen in the whole dive. We'll hold on for a bit more.
I would, yeah.
Okay. Let's zoom out.
I think Scripps also has an undersea cable at their pier, and Mbari might as well. I'm not sure if they're live
Aloha
streamed
Cabled
though.
Observatory has a live camera at the
Yeah.
observatory. Can't say that it's very active down there. It's the deepest ocean observatory in the world at 4,700 meters. Go for zoom. Oh, I keep pulling up.
Watch your upper.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it closed. Some tricky rocks around here.
Has anybody here seen The Labyrinth?
The movie?
Yeah.
I have.
This looks like the wall of the Helping Hands.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
right.
Dance, magic dance.
Talofa, we are live. This is not a streaming, pre-recorded.
Only our names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Got an urgent question here.
Do you want a Doppler reset?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would you rather fight 100 crab-sized horses or 1 horse-sized crab?
Oh,
Crab-sized horses.
Parasite
Yeah.
sources.
yeah.
Crab-sized sauces.
Because that sounds
All you
fantastic.
need is
I
a
would
bag
really
full of
enjoy
baby
that.
carrots and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I
I mean, what are they gonna do?
They're gonna stomp
What,
with their
your
tiny
toe?
little toes.
I'm gonna eat my baby carrots.
What if they take your broccoli?
Well, that's why I have the baby carrots. I'm not sharing my broccoli.
This is some
You can
great
take
lava
my
formations.
bouncing broccoli out of my cold, dead hands.
That's a really cool pillow.
Mm.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like an eyeball.
It looks like a pumpkin, the one on the right. The contour map's kind of playing out. This is like a little bit of a flatter shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think about changing our heading for waypoint 3 now?
Well, she just turned to the left, and it's like still a cliff over
yeah,
there.
Still, yeah.
So
What's that
we
heading
might.
there?
That was. What was the head? Like,
What was that heading?
yeah. What was the heading where you start? That right
Yeah.
there.
What's that heading?
It's 112. Or
112. We're
100.
Yeah. So
Really?
but it looks like it's coming around. So we might just have one more move here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because like look up ahead in the Atalanta Mezzo. It's really
Yeah.
soon that'll start to trend around to the.
Okay, yeah. I think it's past
To the
that
north.
one that's 40 meters out, and then
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
uphill will only be to
Sounds
the
good. Just
ahead of us and to port after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready for another move?
Yeah.
Bridge now. Can I have another move? 20 meters, 090.
Just walking the cliff.
Don't fall.
Don't fall off. What if I fall off?
You also don't have much leash, so.
Yeah.
Be a fun free climb wall, that one.
Yeah, it definitely would.
Yeah.
Plenty to get hold of.
Right, how do those gauges look?
They look good.
Yes.
Just did them.
Yeah, like 2
10
minutes ago?
minutes ago, yeah.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, everything's coming up a little bit from.
Go for zoom. There's a little sponge in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to see. Well, it is a glass sponge.
It's kind of weird for it to be in the crevice if it's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
it's
Do
a
you
really
think it's
weird
like
spot. I was like,
fallen
why
off its
is it
stalk or
weird?
something? And
All right.
it probably didn't mean to be there.
Maybe it's an introvert.
Yeah.
That is scary.
Is everyone here introverted or extroverted?
Absolute silence.
No comment.
How do you tell an extroverted engineer?
Will they tell you?
They're the one that looks at the other person's shoes at a party.
Oh.
Go for zoom.
Go for zoom.
Oh, it's a tiny sponge. A tiny pod. Okay, we can zoom out.
Bonk.
Bonk.
I guess we all must be a little bit extrovert in that we all agree to actually be here on this job with microphones on, with audiences of a potential up to 4 billion people tuning in.
Yeah, but they're not real if you can't see them.
Yeah, that's it.
If they were in, like, watching me from, like, behind the glass, that'd be a little harder.
Is that a dead sponge?
Yeah,
This
that's
long
one of those really big furry sponges that we've been seeing.
They do look like skeletons, like spines, don't they?
Yeah. This one is a bit less spiny.
There
than
was
some
one
of
just
the
below
yeah.
that looked more exposed, like it didn't
Yeah.
have the outer layer to it.
Yeah.
I have a question here. On this expedition, did you come across any unnamed, unidentified organism? I think it's hard to tell right now.
Yeah,
Until-
probably.
There's one of the corals that we collected last on the last dive. Santiago thinks has been undescribed before. So
Cool.
it's a new species of Paragorgia.
Oh,
And there's
should
been a
know.
lot of samples that we've collected. It's just that we can't confirm until
Yeah.
all the
presume.
samples.
But I think, I suspect that because it's such a new area that's been undersampled, I think the way I've had it explained to me is it's almost inevitable that
Oh,
we
it's a
have seen
barnacle.
completely new, undescribed
I
species
got it.
on multiple occasions. It's just,
Cool.
it's
I can zoom out.
the detailed study that goes into that, requiring both DNA analyses and taxonomy, are such that it'll take a lot of careful work to really answer that definitively. But you could probably bet a significant amount of money on it and be safe that there had been new species discovered here.
Well, I thought there would be way more things up here. Goes to show why we explore.
It's pretty cold here, though.
The water?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.1 right now.
And a lot of the places on the seamounts when we've been shallower, it does get quite a lot warmer, right? It's been around 6
6.
degrees a lot of
Yeah.
the time in places where we've been over similar terrain and we got to the top of cliffs. But
Although we are probably 1,000 meter deeper than a lot of the
Right.
dives we were doing.
yeah.
If you keep going
Yeah.
port, you're gonna go off the end of the world.
Oh yeah, can't go off the end of the world.
We are here offshore of American Samoa. It is 3:38 right now, p.m. Have another question here. What do you hope to learn from the coconut you sampled on the previous dive?
Whether it had rum in it.
Why was the
No,
rum
I don't
gone?
know, actually.
It had some, I can't remember if there were sponges or anemones growing on the inside. Something on the
It was
inside.
an enemy. Yeah.
Got another question. So if it's a new species, do we get to name, or who gets to name the new species?
I think
person
whoever
who
does the hard
describes it.
work. Yeah.
The person who describes it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they'll write a paper. Ooh, a coral.
So the samples that we collect, the biological samples, they all go to the Museum of Comparative Zoology at Harvard University. They're the people who volunteered to look after and archive all the samples. And so if it's a kind of organism that somebody is a specialist in, they can apply to get access to the samples and do the work. And so if any scientist chooses to do that, then they can actually, like, if it's an area that they're a specialist in, then they could actually do the studies, identify whether it is a new species or whether it's something that has already been described. And then that would go through a, so then that would go through a peer-reviewed process of other experts.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think so.
And if they all agree, then that person would get to nominate what they think would be an appropriate name for that species.
Sometimes you walk the dog, sometimes the dog walks you.
Yeah.
I do know there's at least one species that's been named for an Alvin pilot from somewhere that, for example, the people that did the work were sort of like appreciative of the work that the pilot had done to actually collect a sample that was pretty tricky to get hold of. So.
Yes. Oh, yeah, now I understand that why I'm having issues.
And Alvin is a human-occupied submersible.
Reel it back in.
Yeah,
Get yourself ready for a handover.
So it's like an ROV, but with actual people inside
Inside
rather
it,
than tethered with a data stream.
If you want to get like more centered in the box. Then you'll have more to look at.
I think if I remember right, it was a pretty ugly looking little eel, but
Maybe
the
not a
pilot didn't mind. He
compliment
was
then.
just like just very happy to have a species named after them. It was like the fact that it was the species that nobody else wanted to have it named. I think it's like Megan saying she would happily go down to the seafloor in a submersible in France on a Sunday, even if it meant not getting the really good wine for lunch.
Yeah. I'll
It'd
give
be
up
the same
wine
thing
for
of like if somebody was
seeing
going to
some
name a
corals.
species for you, I don't think any of us would object exactly what it was.
Yeah, no.
It'd be such
I
an
think
honor and a privilege to.
So with chemical naming conventions, I read a story that I can't say for sure is 100% true, but the story that
You
I
don't need to
read
come
was
back any
that
further.
Yeah.
when the scientists discovered vitamin C for the first time, he knew
'Cause
it
now
was
you're-
a new
Now you're pretty close to underneath.
Yeah.
So you
a
just
new
center up.
chemical, but he didn't know the
Straight up.
structure of it. And he originally thought it had a similar structure to one of the other sugars, so like fructose or sucrose or glucose. But he didn't know its structure and he couldn't work it out. So he proposed the name God knows and was rejected. And they were told he had to come up with a more serious name that was less...
Less facetious.
and I think he then said, fine, vitamin C.
All
But
right.
Let's go for Zoom. Crazy gorgeous.
I know something similar happens with minerals that
Let me zoom
geologists can do. And one of the ways you can study minerals, they have like a three-dimensional structure, like the crystalline lattice. So they have an X, Y, and a Z axis. And if you shave a really thin slice of rock, it becomes translucent. So you can actually shine light on a microscope, and so you can actually see the minerals. You can see the different colors of the minerals. But then if you use polarized light, then depending on which way the thing has been sliced, you can see different colors. So you get really vivid colors to tell you about the crystalline structure.
Oh, wow.
So there was a particular mineral which it turned out that if you put it along the z-axis, it was red. And if you put it along the y-axis, it was amber. And if it was...
I think there's current.
on the x-axis, it was green.
Yeah.
And so they tried to call it
It's
traffic
enjoying
light.
it.
Yeah.
And again, they were like...
Got rejected.
The sensible people who sent it out, I think it ended up as a titaniferous augite or something. It was just, it was a variation of a pretty common mineral, but it just had a particular extra trace
The
element
polarization.
in it. So
Oh, very cool, though.
but it would have been like if
current
you went
into
red,
the
amber,
current.
green. I loved the idea of like as you rotate the stage, it would go through these different color schemes.
What was the name of that boat, that the English ship that they tried to name?
Boating
Oh,
Boatface.
boat- yes.
Boating
That's now the Sir
Boatface.
David Attenborough.
Yes, that's right.
But they do have a submersible, so a long-range AUV that they have named Boating Boatface instead as like a consolation prize
Okay.
for all the people disappointed that the ship didn't get that name.
That's the successor
go
of
for
the
zoom.
first AUV I ever worked with. Was the original auto sub.
The first AUV I worked with was Boating Boatface.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yourself?
Yeah. Got
Where
the
were
name
you?
written
Were you
on-
in the Antarctic somewhere, or?
No, it was in just off Bay of Biscay,
Sea
so like
area.
southwest from the UK.
Yep.
Not quite into the bay, but still out in international waters.
Okay, shall I
With
give you another
that way.
putting in situ sensors on it, or?
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was
Okay, we can
a
zoom out.
primary productivity
Did you want another move,
sensor.
Megan?
So
Yes.
optical
That would be a
sensing
time for one more.
for
Bridge
determining
nav.
phytoplankton primary productivity.
Can I have a move 20 meters, 090?
That rock looks like a hurt.
It does.
If you're watching from the nautiluslive.org, you're able to see all the readings, like for example the depth, it's on the side of the screen that you see, as well as the temperature and the wind speed. So right now we're currently at 2,076 meters, equivalent to 6,810 feet. To answer some of the folks' question that's tuning in.
What's this whip?
Yeah, this is a primnoid. Okay, you can zoom in a little bit.
Megan, how can you tell the difference between the primnoid and a bamboo coral again?
It's the polyps. So the primnoid polyps have like little tears, and they look kind of like a darker, more opaque color.
Okay.
Whereas the bamboo are going to be really fleshy, and they'll often have spines.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get out of the picture.
Wonderful. Can you share that with us later?
Yeah, can you send that? Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm?
But you haven't done a single one. Oh.
Megan.
I am.
Thank you.
Hey, Gabby.
Oh boy.
Okay.
No. Must be... Is it Zedapanos?
Okay. It doesn't seem to work.
He's probably wondering where he left it.
can zoom this, Samantha.
Copy that.
It's a nice actinostolid anemone and barnacle.
I'm going to do a quick video handover, just by the way.
Yep, okay. Can you zoom out before you leave? Great, thanks.
Looks like a little sponge ahead to the right, Megan, and the lower. So is this the grand finale? Is going to be like the Olympic opening ceremony then? We do all the parkour and then there's this big firework display at 1,500 meters. Yeah, so front row at the moment, we've been following headings of, instead of going straight towards waypoint 3, we've been heading more like 090 just to keep uphill ahead of us. But we figure the contours should at some point start turning around. They've been mostly north-south contours, but at some point soon they're going to go northwest-southeast, so then we'll be able to change heading to get up to waypoint 3.
Copy that.
And if Santiago comes in for the third day running and saying he's been busy planning tomorrow's dive and that's why he's late, I'm going to know he's a mendacious marine biologist.
So we have all 6 skins, it looks like.
Yeah, we've been waiting for some biodiversity to fire them and have not come across really any at all. So
What are you talking about? Look around you.
We've been waiting for our motivation. The one thing that we are doing today
Maybe there's something
is
in the
there's been a strong request for rocks at every waypoint.
Nice.
So we've got them at waypoint 1 and waypoint 2, doing argon isotope dating on those to work out the age of this particular seamount. So that'll be your next highlight if you haven't seen anything alive by the time you get there.
Well, we're trying to get to sample 400 because we did the 100, the 200,
Oh, you
300. Did? So we'd really like
the
to
100
get
club, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
We need to win at
4
some
to 800 club. So you're going to go somewhere between 400 and 800 on the last 4 to 8.
Yep.
Sounds like a noble challenge. Tito's going to have RSI by the end of it. All right, we'll see you in an hour.
See ya.
What was I going to say?
Tito, are you ready for me to move?
Oh, certainly.
So you going ahead. Our direction was, we can't go directly towards waypoint 3 apparently because there's a ridge, which is in heading 055, waypoint 3. So we're going to try to go along this ridge as much as possible towards the waypoint.
Because there's a ridge?
Yeah, I guess to your port side. It falls off somewhere.
That's weird.
So ideally we would like to go in heading, let's say, like 060.
Oh, it probably... Okay, I can see why now. Because there's like... Then we're just flying over water.
Yeah.
We're not looking at anything.
Yep.
Gotcha. I'm like, we could jump that.
We'll see what that direction is like.
We can literally fly.
Yeah.
So 060. Try that out.
0,
Bridge
6,
now.
0.
Feels like a
Step
pretty stiff
10
current.
meters, heading 060.
Say again?
Feels like a pretty stiff current.
Oh, yeah. We are at 2,000 meters. How cold is the water?
I'm not used to this being at this depth anymore.
Takes a little while for things to get moving.
Yeah. I forgot what the rule of thumb was for like time per 500 meters or so.
Do what? Yeah, we definitely need to remember to do that. Let's wait until everybody was here.
All right. So they picked up some rocks. Now we're gonna find the fun stuff.
Yep.
What's the last sample number?
What is it, Jacob?
Last sample taken was 341. So we're at
not gonna
342.
make it.
Hey.
Well, it can
Not
pick
with
up
that attitude, Tito.
No, well, 59 pieces of rock.
Okay. I don't know if we have the scoopers anymore. And if we don't,
Step
there's
20
so much more stuff in
meters,
Lambda
heading 060.
and Omega.
Yeah.
We
What
have-
if
We have 6 Niskins.
what if we pick up a really crumbly rock and then slurp it, and then have Jacob make every little piece of rock a different sample number?
They're going to hate us.
That would be great. I like that idea. We could also keep firing the Niskins over and over and over
I'm
again.
certainly willing to try.
Start putting stuff in our pockets.
So just curious, what's the rate or the speed that we've been moving on so far?
0.2 knots.
And is that your max comfortable speed for this kind of terrain, or do you think we can
This
make
depth.
faster track? But depth and also the incline of the terrain. How steep it is.
We could go a little faster, but I'm having a little trouble with the current, too.
Oh, really?
Right now, I'm
It's fighting it.
struggling to go south any. We are trying to go 060, but
Interesting.
that's 100% starboard right now.
Wow. So current here is going from the east.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's weird. Because usually the tether is a lot more like... But maybe because you're a little bit further. It does seem kind of wide.
Right now, the boat's actually going 0.3 knots.
And we are waiting for Atalanta to get moving.
Yeah. Well, I think we just keep going at the pace that you feel is right. Just try to... the goal will be to try to cover the most ground that we have with the time that we have left.
Sweet. That's around 2,000 meters-ish. Waypoint 3 is 1,973. So we have to be on deck by 8 p.m.
And we'll count on about 100 minutes of Z from 2000.
So start heading up at
6:45.
6:45, 6:30, 45. Okay.
6:30. Okay, so we have like 2.5 hours.
Well, technically we have 2 hours because we have to go half an hour for eat, right? We gotta go eat. And it's no ice cream day. So
No.
It's gonna feel like a lot longer. We don't want any Niskins. What if there's something in the water that's preventing all this?
Oh, we will.
Preventing all this life.
I love this motivation.
We step 30 meters, heading 060.
All the push cores, everything.
Wait, we got 2 push cores?
We have push cars?
You have 2,
I don't know.
yeah.
I bet we still have the scoops.
I hope not. I mean, if we really wanted to, if we do have the scoops, we can take a scoop. That's one sample, and then we can twist the bottom one so they're separated for another sample. You know.
Yep. So, why do you think the biodiversity is so sparse here?
Well, I see, the slope is mostly talus, so broken pieces that are been rolling downhill. And then deeper, when the dive started, I saw a lot of sediment, accumulated sand. So my guess is that just this particular slope that we're diving on is not stable enough to allow slow-growing organisms to settle and grow large. So you see some things colonizing, but I imagine that there's just a lot of dislodging and rocks sliding downhill that tend to crush anything around here. And so I'm just looking at the bathymetry, and it's possible that once we get a bit shallower, we'll start seeing a bit more, either a bit of a ridge top or just more stable terrain like the top where a lot of these chunks of rock are falling down from. You can see how different the rocks are here from what we were seeing, for example, yesterday. These are much more angular rocks, so likely pieces, broken up pieces of pillow lavas. Would you agree with that, Jacob?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, thank you. You want to give any other comments on the rocks?
I mean, they're covered in, you know, a ferromanganese crust. I don't know, I'm just interested to see, you know, where they're coming from. So like uphill, obviously, but I want to see like the original formation,
Right.
which would be pretty neat because this is a lot of talus for this slope, so it must be a pretty large wall. Maybe we'll see.
Are we about to come up on that ridge?
I don't see any ridge.
Or not ridge, whatever we were avoiding earlier.
What the previous watch was?
Yeah.
We were avoiding something?
Yeah, they said they couldn't make a direct heading to waypoint 3, but I don't know.
Because of the current?
No, they said that it was like some sort of ridge line, but I don't see it.
Phantom Ridge.
Yeah.
What about food in the water? Marine snow is it still the same amount of nutrient here? It's just really the environment itself, the instability of the substrate and soil.
Yeah, I mean, we dove at this depth before.
Step 30 meters.
In this expedition, but also previous expeditions in the region. I don't know if you recall that dive when we were in that seamount in Malulu. There was a lot of sponges and corals, mostly sponges. I was around this depth range, actually just a little bit deeper. I can't imagine the water column
changing that much.
Right, yeah. Changes regionally or when this discrete things like having an active volcano. Although, you know, for example, Malulu is closer to Malulu than where we are now. But we dove in other deep seamounts to the southeast. I don't know if you recall when we were doing those deep sentry dives, we were in the southeast part of the American Samoan territory. And we did a couple dives on some deep seamounts around this depth range. And we saw quite a bit of life there. So my guess now is just that...
there's a coral.
Yeah, there's a chrysogorgia. The absence of, or rather low abundance of life here is maybe more driven by the instability of the terrain here.
There's definitely a lot of fossilized sponges.
Yeah, I haven't seen. You've seen some?
We just flew over one.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I've got a few here and there.
Yeah, they could also be, you know, coming from uphill as well.
Tumbling and...
Especially if there's strong currents, they can pick them up and end up lower downhill. They're not, we picked up a few, they're not very dense.
That's right. Oh yeah, we did. We tried to sample one. Here's a sea cucumber.
To start seeing more larger pieces of pilolavas coming up, so maybe we're reaching the
Urchin.
source of a lot of these talus.
It's not like there's nothing here. You just have to work hard to find it.
There's actually, it looks like, is that something on the bottom side of that rock that's in the center? We're kind of past it now. But
I didn't see, I saw there purple urchin, but I didn't see anything else.
I think we're going to see something cool. I just know it.
as cool as the basket stars.
I had a little bit of a nightmare about
that. They're waiting for us.
I've been thinking about those too.
Yeah. See a sponge on the left.
Oh, there's a cave.
Oh yeah. Oh, a fish.
Dead sponge.
Oh, is that a cave?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow, this is really cool. Wall.
Oh, and there's another fish on the right.
Who do you think lives in that cave?
Ships in a hold.
Can you guys tell how far down this goes? Like if we were to go down in this?
I'm seeing 15 meters altitude right now.
Cool. This is a very impressive
I'm also
wall.
using all the stick to stay in position and come up slowly here.
Yeah, and even then you're slowly drifting.
Yeah.
Wow.
This explains all the talus that we're seeing. Yeah.
So I'm catching up to you.
Oh, definitely.
Michael, do you need me to step back?
Tito, what's the strongest current that you guys can handle?
And then have to go forward.
You know, laterally, not much because there's smaller thrusters for lateral, but forward, I'd say we could handle approximately. It seems like Herc will go about a little faster than a knot through open water, so I could probably handle 2/3 of that.
Mm. Because this is coming due starboard, that's where it's making this a challenge.
So if you look, I'm using 100% up and 100% right right now.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was looking at.
I'm coming up right above you.
That's what's happening.
I'm coming up right above you.
Yeah.
And looks like it's pretty steep.
This is a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way to say it. I'm about to pass you.
Yeah,
I
just
think
gonna
we're reaching
keep
the top.
focus on coming up.
Oh. See the terrain level in there and a lot of cemented or like thicker
Go ahead and come up.
iron manganese crust here. It looks more smooth.
I may get blown right off here.
Flat, so I think we reach the edge of the wall, or at least the local edge. I don't know if this is how extensive this is. Maybe just a step.
Then, yeah, another talus slope begins.
Yeah, so yeah, this is
awesome.
more like just a step.
Are we still moving?
Pardon?
Are we still moving?
The ship is not moving.
But Atalanta's going to swing quite a bit.
Where is the ship?
What's that?
Or are you just zoomed in? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of sponge skeletons here.
Can I reset the DVL?
Oh, yes.
I think we're good enough to move Atalanta?
Yeah.
Copy that.
And if there's any, I mean,
I see
there
a
were
large,
big sponges. Like,
yeah, I think there's some.
If you can get it closer to like more of a
especially
steeper
that
angle
one in the top
towards-
left.
At a what?
At
Yeah,
a steeper angle. So instead of like
in the cinema
this
cam,
way,
if you
kinda,
go
that way I can
look
bring me
left,
closer to
I don't know
Herc.
if you can. but there are
he's having trouble fighting the current to come over.
Okay, so
large
you want me to move
sponges, I
up more?
think.
Yeah.
So I think Atalanta's position is dictated
I
by the
see.
current right now.
Yeah.
It's, what, 50 meters west and 20 meters north?
Yeah.
Bridge nav. Carry step 20 meters, heading 050.
An anemone, little coral.
Good old coral.
Gorgia. Chrysogorgia?
Possibly. Hard to tell from the distance.
About 135 meters to waypoint 3.
Looks like one of
Tito, I'm
those
going to have you moving, heading
coral whips that
065.
they were seen earlier.
Sure. I'm
that current's
just kind of
pushing you.
pointed in the current and let the current take me a
Gotcha.
little bit. So
Okay.
I think
Take
over the
me
ground I'll be able to do
away.
that.
Gotcha.
There's a Chrysogorgia.
And want to push.
You can always count on Chrysogorgia to be around.
Why so?
They're very abundant in the deep sea, and there's many different species. It's one of those groups of corals that seem to be very successful in living at many different places in the deep. I don't know what their secret is, but they seem to do pretty well. So another Chrysogorgia.
And it feels like the current's moderated a little bit.
That's good. Bridge nav. Step 20 meters, heading 060.
And can I have a push?
Yeah, there's a couple of things here. That looks like a sea cucumber.
Right in.
Yep. I think we saw one of these earlier.
Yeah, I think we did.
It's the same one.
A few corals
The
growing
pink
on
polka
there.
dot one?
Yep. Same one. It just hustled over here.
And they're fast.
And another push, please.
Something's living in it.
Squat lobster. Yeah. This is one of those iconic or pretty widespread associations between squat lobsters and chrysogorgid corals in general.
And did they always match colors like that? They seem to blend in.
Yeah, I don't think that's intentional.
The light colored ones stay on the light colored chrysogorgia. The more pink ones stay on the precious coral or the bubblegum corals.
Yeah, it's always interesting to think about how do they find each other. Like, how does a crab find the coral, right? It's not like there's
like deep sea tinder.
Deep sea tinder.
Swipe right.
Yeah, usually, I mean, it's rare to have one of those corals without an associated squat lobster. It's a very close association. But likely are relying on chemical cues to communicate. But once, for example, once a squat lobster eaters, I don't know at which point in the life cycle colonizes, whether they're already adults or as juveniles or larvae. But one of the cues that they may be using as they get close is light. Many of the corals in the deep sea are bioluminescent.
Thinking about some of these big corals that we've seen during the expedition, now picturing them also with bioluminescence. And
yeah, those big bamboos, they're almost certainly bioluminescent.
Yeah, large beacons, bonfires in the deep.
Bridge nav.
Is there any chance we can full screen that?
I have no, I'm not in control of that.
30 meters, heading 060.
Oh, I think that's you actually, Santiago.
That's me, what?
That screen right there.
Yeah, that camera is, full screen mode is out of commission, so that's just like from a PC.
Roger that.
No, it's not me.
So yeah, sorry, nothing we can do about it.
Oh well. Sorry about the...
Yeah, I think probably well, hopefully...
Start heading in direction 060.
060. How far to the waypoint?
Waypoint is currently 107 meters.
Roger, copy. Is that some old bamboo coral there? Or
yeah, it's a skeleton. I'm not sure it's just a coral, might be a sponge.
yeah, can I have a push, please? That looks like it's been collecting dust for a while.
Yeah, already has a coating of iron manganese.
And back out, please. Thank you. And going up the hill.
Copy.
I see some more intact pillow lavas coming up. It's a big crinoid.
This might be a question for Jacob. So other than ferromanganese, are there other types of crusts that can form on rocks?
You know, I'm not completely sure about that. I'm sure there are. Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm sure there are.
It is a good question.
Yeah.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are.
maybe.
There's got
Sneaky opens a tab.
Well, no, I want to know.
Yeah.
Give him a break. He's only 5
Well,
minutes
they are-
into his grad program.
Yeah, I know. He's doing good. You're doing great, Sweaty.
There are phosphorite crusts.
Oh,
But I don't know how they're formed or what process leads to their accumulation. Not sure I ever seen one.
so I think there are ferromanganese crusts that are rich in different minerals, like cobalt. Yeah, there's definitely, so I think just iron and manganese make up the most, like the majority of the crust, and then they contain other valuable minerals, but I think predominantly they are the kind of dominant minerals present in the crust, so that's why they're called that. But,
Bridge nav.
it doesn't
Before we make
say.
another move, I think I'd like to pitch a couple
Stand by.
plates.
Say it again?
I'd like to pitch a couple plates before we make another move.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to wait for a little bit of a swing here.
Okay, I'll hold here.
Just did a ballast check and I felt a little heavy.
Okay.
Too many rocks.
X, Y, and depth. And would you porch out, please?
I was hoping to get PC4 up here, but I can't, it seems.
Hey, Michael. Do you need me to move Atalanta more south?
No.
It seems to be tracking right behind us, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, Herc's hand is moving great. How's that current around this area?
What's that?
How's the current right now?
You know, I'm either facing into it a little bit more or it's moderated a little bit. Let's take a look. So that's hands off. I don't want to get too far behind, so, but it does seem to be going pretty spicy. And I'm coming up hard, and I'm right underneath you.
Yep.
If you don't mind pulling in a little bit of leash, please.
You're not 100% underneath me.
Okay.
The camera isn't pointed down.
Right, I'm just looking at the
Yeah.
Nav G3.
So we're about 87 meters from waypoint 3, heading 052.
Roger that.
Get that move in before I stop.
Yeah, you can go ahead and put that in.
Bridge nav. Can we step 20 meters, heading 052? Ship's on the move.
So many rocks.
So many rocks.
So little time.
You can have so many choices at waypoint 3.
We could really quickly get to
Pick
sample
59
400 if
yeah.
we start picking.
You know, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of sampling, but it would make our lives in the wet lab a lot easier, maybe.
Like
The last dive.
to pick up 50 rocks?
Something like that.
You all are working so hard.
They're hardly working. Welcome.
Some more pillows.
Yeah, these look like
You better
broken,
come up
like
on a
Greek
wreck or
sculptures
something.
or something.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
You want to find some archaeology down
Yeah,
here?
just a wreck. Just or a secret base, something.
We don't
This
talk about
reminds
those.
me of a park in Oslo, Norway called Vigeland, or Frognerparken. And it's all these sculptures of, well, it's the most famous of all is the Angry Boy, I think it's called. But a lot of the sculptures are like a group of people all kind of contorted and making towers and stuff. And it reminds me of that.
Yeah, same. Like a Renaissance painting or something that just kind of...
Just 55 more meters.
It's going to be amazing at waypoint 3.
There's going to be one of those over there, the blood star.
Yep, all the blood
marking
stars.
the spot. Right.
So we're going to have to...
Actually, the boring name was Pancake, right?
Santiago, we don't have to be right on the waypoint, right?
No.
We'll
Just
be
have
in
to
that
go.
area. Okay.
Yeah. I think those waypoints are intended to keep us along a hypothetical ridge.
I like it.
So far, we just seem to be on a
Bridge
more
now.
continuous slope. Oh, this
Yeah,
looks
to
more
the
ridgy.
left is the drop
Yeah.
off.
052.
Yeah, the left looks interesting.
Oh, we found
Yeah,
the drop off.
I wonder if along that edge there's any corals that...
That's probably where they're all waiting
Yeah.
and stuff. They've
Yeah, they've just been around the corner the whole
yeah,
time.
just dangling.
see something coming up on top of the rock.
Which one?
Keep going up. I see it in bubble cam.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something there. This. That's waypoint 3.
I don't see the X. Oh, there it is. I see the X. I'm just kidding. It's no 8.3.
A little too steep right there to get a good purchase. And zoom in.
You got the porch out?
Oh, sure.
Porch is out.
And would you pan the camera down for me?
It might just be a Chrysogorgia.
And want to push.
Yep. Another Chrysogorgia.
Some kind of gorgia, yeah.
With a matching squat lobster.
Yeah.
And back in.
The perfect accessory.
They do match.
Would you square up the camera? That looks good. Just tilt up and porch.
I wonder if they're kind of like flamingos, you know, that their diet kind of dictates their color.
Yeah. It's possible. Back to Talus.
So last night, one of the last samples we grabbed was a rock with
Ridge now.
something or other on it. Did that survive to the surface?
Oh,
It did.
yeah. Oh, good.
It's
Not alive, but it survived.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was still intact.
It was still there.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a good haul yesterday. Got really, really good samples.
Took y'all a while to get them processed.
There weren't that many.
Oh no, that front biobox was pretty full.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
it
There
was
were
mostly the
some
what are they called?
corals, some sponges.
Scoops.
Oh, the scoops. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's more Chrysogorgias here.
All right, more things.
Could probably proceed another 20 meters. Then take a sample.
So to kind of come back to that question again after I did some digging on the internet briefly. So at hydrothermal vent sites like the ones in Violulu, there are sulfide formations around the chimneys or at mid-ocean ridges, for example. Those hydrothermal vent sites may include sulfide formations that hold, again, iron, and different kinds of minerals that precipitate out of the seawater. So while they're not the traditional like ferromanganese crusts, they are kind of similar and different in that they have a different composition. But same idea of precipitating and
Do we need to adjust my heading?
accumulating around the
Cool.
source.
Well, I can start going a little north.
Thanks for digging into that for us.
Yeah.
Tito, we have a question from a viewer asking what your body count is in terms of ROVs and submersibles that you've flown.
Body count.
You got a number? I know. Sorry,
Embarrassingly low. Right, so J1, J2, Jason 1, Jason 2, Little Herc and Big Herc. This being Big Herc. A little bit of time with a Stingray Mark 5. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with 5. I run a couple simulators, which were so realistic, but I couldn't count those. But I've got something, I'm going to tell you about how many cruises I've done with ROVs, and that's I've done over 100 cruises with Jason.
Wow.
Over 70 as expedition leader and chief pilot. So got a lot of time under my belt.
Over 100, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
So in total, I've got over 300 oceanographic cruises I've done. I started out as messman on the Titanic Discovery in 1985. Worked my way up, OSAB, bosun, wiper, oiler, junior engineer. Did a little bit of cooking.
3 meters left.
But 39 years, I could calculate about
This is
14
going to be
of them
our
at sea.
waypoint 3. We should just go all the way. We should just, boom, go straight there.
That's amazing. So you get tired going to sea, Tito?
You know, not the sea part as much as the flying around the world part. I don't know, feel pretty good on a ship most of the time, but
I'm sure the ice
yeah,
cream
I'm hoping
helps.
to slow down over the next year or two.
I'm sure the ice cream helps.
But no, I think I've gotten so used to it.
So Tito, we're at a hold now.
Sure, I'm just going to swing a little bit north
Atlanta should
and a
probably
little
catch
bit
up.
west.
I don't really care how many expeditions. I want to know how many ice cream sundaes. Thousands.
You know, many ships you have ice cream every day, any time. Some others you don't have any ice cream at all.
No
Then they're
ship
not
I ever.
legitimate.
Yep, I never want to be on that one.
They're
You
not
don't want-
legitimate.
I don't care about ice cream that much, so it's fine.
I do. I'd never get on a ship without ice cream.
It's in your contract.
That would be uncivilized.
So we don't have to be directly on the waypoint. We can.
I thought I'd just go hit it for fun.
Okay.
So the one of the goals of this dive is to sample a rock at around every waypoint.
Oh yeah.
So how's here?
Yeah.
Almost there.
And so I'm going to try and stick with a moderate size, if that's all right.
How to choose? How to choose?
You want to let the record stand, which wasn't one of the ROV pilots, by the way. And would you fire up yarn, please? And where are we going to put this sample? I guess it depends on the size to an extent.
Jacob?
Yep. Which one?
Which rock?
I think I came up with an answer.
That rock.
Oh, that's
I'm
going to say that's pretty big.
That's borderline
But let's
boulder.
pick it up and see what it looks like.
again?
We're going to have to power cycle it.
Yeah, that one right
Why did you circle that rock, Jacob?
You know, when we cut the rocks up, kind of looking for ones that'll make nice slabs or subsamples. That one looks like it's the right size, right width, and thickness. Kind of do that, but also still have some interesting characteristics. So we'll see when we pull it out, though.
Yeah, I got to cut a rock the other day. It's like just cutting slices of ham from a chunk of ham or slices of bread.
Yeah.
So you're looking for something that looks like a nice loaf.
Yep.
I see. Oh yeah, that's really big. You can see the lasers. That is like half a meter
yeah.
across.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you see that is smaller that could be good?
Yeah, I think right above the claw.
Right above the claw. Which, on the lasers? Or the one that...
Kind of like...
Is this one not good?
Sure, we can do that.
Or...
Oh, maybe...
Shake it off.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Dust it off.
Dust it off. Oh, that's awesome.
Give it a spin cycle. Oh, I see Adam surveying back behind us. Very ominous.
He gives thumbs up.
I will say that's pretty cool.
What's
do you
that
want
on
to
the
zoom?
left underside of it?
It's like ketchup and mustard.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sure.
A little bit of rust is good.
Is that just the...
Yeah, let's do it.
Jacob approves. All right. Where should that go, Jacob?
Oh, right. So the starboard bioboxes are all open except for B and F. So
What's in there?
nothing's in A here. We did this. I don't know why we don't do this more often, but Nav, I'm gonna pass you this, and if you could, yeah.
Yeah, but what's in it?
So we have medium rock in B, and a large rock in F in the starboard biobox.
Yeah, I just need to know what's in it.
Yeah, yeah, nothing floaty.
Thank you very much. And
Okay.
box out, please. Not so much. Can we put this in with the other sample or in the big?
We could put it in E, so the most forward big biobox.
Okay.
Nicely done. Now that's sample 342.
I got you on the craft over here so
Copy
you can see your
342.
rotation.
Nice. So we're not going to make it to 400 samples, but we're definitely going to make it to 315, I think.
Yeah. Good.
We can celebrate that.
Yeah, y'all want to settle.
We got to save some rocks on the seafloor.
Oh, it was cut underneath it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to have to put the thing back in. Nope, that's not what I wanted.
And that was waypoint 3.
Okay.
That's great.
Nicely done.
We did it, Joe.
So our next waypoint.
Nice job. That was an amazing waypoint. Waypoint 4 is going to be even better.
4 is 300, or excuse me, 430
Be tough to beat.
meters, heading 080.
080, 430 meters.
Yes.
So Jacob, what are you going to do with all the rocks that you're bringing home with you?
Good question. So
20 meters, heading
we
080.
are basically going to be crumbling up. So for example, kind of the fresh glossy rocks we got from Bailulu, we're going to be crushing up into smaller bits, probably the size, like very small granules, and we're going to set them in an array, maybe in some sort of dish, and we're going to put epoxy over them, and then we're going to be shooting, going to Brown or some other university with the right equipment, and we're going to be kind of shooting, I don't know, some sort of like beam at them, a laser or something else to kind of find out the mineral composition of each granule in that sample, and then we're going to be kind of characterizing them. And I think that's what we're going to be doing.
Do you want to pop Atalanta's heading over to 080?
So,
have you done that kind of analysis before, or will it be your first time?
This will be my first time with rocks. I've done some mass spectrometry with corals before.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. But
you're a coral expert this whole time and didn't say it?
I would not call myself that, but yeah. I've been holding out on you, Santiago.
he's really, you've been saying, and he's been correcting you in the
yeah,
in the data reports.
DJ just thinks it's an obnoxious viewer, but it's actually just me.
What's that ahead of us?
Ooh, what do we see?
Oh, fish.
It looks like a dead sponge with a ophiroid on top.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the fish.
What fish?
The fish that's right there, right next to Herc.
I don't see it.
It's right there on the overhead. It's gone.
Oh,
okay.
That's like a... Oh, cool. I think that might be a chimera. Let's look at the fish. Yes, it is a chimera.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh, I haven't seen one before in this expedition. That's awesome.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
I was going to keep it to myself.
Looking at a dead sponge.
No, looking at the, you're all looking at the wrong things. We're supposed to be looking at life.
Yeah, let's throw a little zoom at it. I'm going to try to follow it. Bear with
I
me.
finally get to highlight.
Wow. Look how it moves.
He's big. Look at those
Yeah.
dots. Blue dots.
So angelic.
Does anybody know why they call them chimera?
No. I do not know the origin of the name, but they're really cool animals. They are very closely related to sharks. So there are less small pranks. They have they don't have hard bones. They're mostly, the skeletons are made of cartilage, like sharks and skates. But there are different lineage from sharks and skates.
Maybe that's why they're called chimera, because they're kind of like sharks, or they're kind of like skates.
I guess so.
All right, I'm falling
Yeah, I'm
behind.
looking,
Let's go ahead and pull
trying to
out.
get an answer to that.
Yeah, they kind of have
question.
that dorsal fin. It's interesting. Okay, bye, Chimera.
Bye.
Not as interesting as waypoint 3, but pretty good.
So that's what's at waypoint 3.
Seriously, the chimera was just like staring at the dead sponge right next to her with us.
I rarely get excited about fish, but that one's a cool one.
Yeah, it's because it's been all day. See, no offense to Jacob, but we've been looking at a lot of rocks.
Bridge nav. We stepped 20 meters, heading 080.
Some dead sponges here.
Gotta get that, what's it called? Dang it. The sunbeam. A little light beam on the Atalanta Zeus. That's how clear it is right now. This is probably the clearest it has been ever. This entire expedition.
Wow.
It kind of looks like Herc is trying to shine a laser pointer at us.
It was kind of trippy earlier today, being able to see Atalanta from Herc's cameras.
Yeah, we got some unique views.
Hi, Danny.
Yeah. Go to underhold.
Gang's all here. Hey, everybody.
I'm just going to put it down.
ROV take over.
Alright, go offline real quick.
Yeah. I probably should have noticed that too.
Are we doing a Niskin? Is that what's happening here? Are we doing a Niskin? I heard rumor.
I don't think it's plugged in yet. And
Hello, my front row friends.
Hello.
Niskin?
Never.
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 Just what they'll be expecting.
Everybody, delete the waypoints. They'll
They'll
never
never
find
find
us.
I did just check in with Santiago, and he was still not motivated.
Oh my gosh, Santiago.
He's waiting for biological inspiration.
Okay. That's fair.
Inspiration. Then we better
So-
like just move real fast.
Yeah.
Onward
okay.
and upward.
Well,
Ramming speed to waypoint 4.
Ramming speed.
We have 2 hours left of this dive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh,
Both hours.
that is a challenge.
What is the challenge?
4 Niskins in 2 hours when there's not really anything
To find, we
living
want to
down
find
there.
the Niskins over.
Oh, Jamie, I
An
wanted
area
to
of
tell
dense
you
biomass?
about another animal to add to your collection from yesterday. There was a pink mantis shrimp.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh man, it's going to be a great photo album. Stay tuned, guys. If you like the color pink and deep sea creatures, this is going to make you happy.
All right. Get you
Is that what the book's going to
moving.
be called? Deep Sea Pink?
Bridge.
Is that what the book's going to be called? The collection?
I
Deep
can't-
Sea Pink?
It's going to be called the Pink Coral Club. It's a reference to the one and only Chapel Roan.
yes, I second that very strongly.
Oh, there's a neat sponge. The gramophone sponge.
Gramophone sponge?
Yeah, it was off to our right.
Does it have like a big trumpet then? Like the
Yeah, it gets like really thin at the base and then it becomes like this big bowl opening at the top. I really was expecting to see a lot more bamboo corals.
We
So
are
like
still
those white whips that we were seeing were all primnoids, the Candidella gigantea, which are very common here at these depths, but we normally see them in line with the bamboo, and from afar they look exactly the same. That's why we always want to zoom in on polyps, because the polyps will always tell you.
So
Is there
Gabby, we have
something-
like 10 to 15 minutes left on this dive, but you guys are going to be back in a month's time or so on the front row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are you going to tell people your manipulator joke this cruise, or are people going to have to tune back in and wait?
Your manipulator
How
joke?
restrained? Wow, our manipulator joke.
Our
Should we just keep
How
people
restrained
guessing,
are
and
we
we'll
gonna
have to
be?
everyone will have to tune back in
Oh
when you
my
get to
gosh.
Palau? How's that?
I think I'll have to wait till Palau. I think I've
Yep.
already told it to everybody that I could get to sit still.
I haven't heard it.
Well, that's because you don't sit still, JB. You're always running. You're
quite
always
true.
moving from one place to another, and
Yeah, no, that's
you know,
true.
all over the ship. 17. I mean, yeah, we had a whole watch where we were talking about Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.
Oh yeah.
And people moving around the ship and being in different seats at different times.
Oh.
You are
Yeah,
the
the
total
epitome
electron
of
cloud of our cruise, of communicating with everyone,
You
everywhere,
never know when
all
you're
the
gonna
time.
find me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normally 3 places at once, and in the studio.
And poor Gabby has to be my roommate.
Oh, it's the best. It's so
Aw.
much
I
fun.
have a sampling diagram back here.
Oh, lucky you.
Oh, look at that. I switch seats without switching seats. I'm going to write in all the samples we're taking.
Has that been there the whole cruise?
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's new.
Oh, you're just finding it now. Like, that would have been useful.
I don't remember it being here, an hour ago.
I bet it was in every dive plan.
Maybe it was here the whole time and I
Yep.
just haven't been paying attention.
To be fair, it's been pretty the same, I think, for most dives. I think,
All right.
maybe? It's
We've
been,
had our
Great,
bioboxes in
now.
the same place. Actually, that would really confuse
Well,
Gabby
to
and the
move
rest,
another
wouldn't it?
20
We
meters.
suddenly
You're
put the,
right.
like the bioboxes on the port side
Oh,
instead.
gosh.
or you
That
could
would
put a
be
jack
really
in the box in
unfortunate.
it. So you open it.
yeah. Well, we do. That's the floaty corals. Sprung loaded floaty corals, though. That.
Boing.
Actually, that would be, Rye, if you think of that. When you
What?
come back in Palau, what would be real fun if you had a sprung loaded coral in the biobox before it left the ship. So the first time,
one of those
the first time
snakes?
Gabby opens, like
in a can.
8 hours later when Gabby opens the biobox, something springs out. Wait, I didn't even know I'd sampled anything yet.
Pure
Don't.
evil.
Well, no, it was the spirally coral.
The Iridogorgia.
Oh,
yeah.
Pretty perfect.
Just like
Just-
press one down
Yeah.
in.
I'll put it in one
We
of
did
those
have a really big
Super
one.
88 tape
Maybe that's what
coral.
we can do if it's like, there's only so much that the MCZ can take in Harvard and keep the rest of it back here for a Halloween sprung loaded surprise.
Yeah, dry one out.
It's because you're going to get tricks or treats.
Things that make you go boo. Is it going to be Halloween when you're here?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you going to have a costume ROV watch?
Well, I'm definitely going to dress up.
Good.
And I probably will just keep wearing my costumes the rest of the cruise.
Well, especially if it's a
pictures.
onesies are actually really sensible things to wear in the band.
Yeah.
I think we should have our own, like, the watch onesies. Every
Watch
watch should have
onesies.
their own uniform onesie. Or we could do like a Winnie the Pooh watch or a Rita Brank watch.
That's really cute.
I do happen to know you can get kangaroo onesies.
Oh, perfect.
I had to buy one for my wife for our wedding anniversary this year.
You had to.
I had
Really?
to. It was an emergency.
Yeah, reasonable. Totally relatable.
So it was, well, we'd been having this conversation. It was our 35th anniversary, which is the jade anniversary. And so we've been having this conversation about what color jade was. And
Oh, did you take the test?
I was sure it was green, but Romy was sure that she'd heard of black jade and that you can get black jade. So I researched it and I found, sure, there's in Western Australia, there are places where you can actually mine black jade.
All right.
And then I found a jeweler who made jewelry in black jade, so I'd ordered some.
Aww.
And then I found out that I'd ordered it from a jeweler in Australia, not from in the US.
Oh.
And so it was like this thing that was in customs and was arriving, and then it was like, I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. But anyway, so at some point, Romy like walked past and seen I had something and I was ordering something from Australia, or there'd been an email saying, your order from Australia is in customs. So she said, what are you buying from Australia? So in a moment of deflection that you guys might be familiar with, I said, oh, I've ordered you a kangaroo onesie. And then about a week later I stopped and thought, I bet you can get one of those on Amazon, can't you?
You've got to have a
Authentic.
authentic, yeah.
So I ended up buying her a kangaroo onesie,
Oh, that's
which I'd worked out with Amazon Prime I could have sent back if she'd never opened it.
Oh my god.
But I did manage to own it, and so the jewelry did arrive in time, so I had this little black jade necklace that actually went in the pouch of because the onesie was authentic, right? Although now I want a sea otter onesie for myself because apparently they have pouches under their armpits as well.
Definitely should get a sea otter one.
Maybe that's it. I need to get that for myself
would be-
because Romy insisted on that she was actually going to wear the kangaroo onesie.
Oh, man.
So I couldn't send it back,
can't
and then
believe
she
that's
just
what came to your mind.
and then she just turned up. Next time we did like a monthly family phone call, I'd set it all up on Zoom when we were busy having a conversation, and then she just nonchalantly wandered in wearing dressed as a kangaroo, with kids and grandchildren going, uh-oh, she's lost it this time. She's been married to him too long.
Mom's correct.
It's one thing doing 4 hours at a time, twice a day, but 35 years is...
I'm sure she's an amazing woman.
She's put up with me for 35 years, so yeah.
That was implied.
What other credentials do you have? Oh! We were so close to we were so close to a snark-free crew.
I got a little snark in there. For our encore, we have to have all the snark we have left.
Yeah, that's right. We got a cruise worth of snark, and we got 3 minutes 35 seconds left before they come back from dinner.
Chris, you never know. The sea otter onesie might come with a stuffed rock, too, so you can have a rock to snuggle with.
I'm going to get... That's what I'm going to... Oh, I can go... Oh, this is good. I hope Adam's not listening, but I just worked out I could do that for Halloween, right? I could drive over to Rhode Island in my sea otter onesie, grab his best rocks and stick them in my pockets under the armpits. He'll never know. I'll just have my arms out side by side.
I hope he has a doorbell camera.
I don't go to his house, I go to his office.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Like, your doorbell camera shows like a sea otter on your front page.
Taking your rocks.
Well, you wouldn't. The last thing you'd notice is your rocks going missing, right?
Yeah, it's deflection, right?
He'd never know
if you turned up as a triceratops. Oh, I could go as a triceratops, Gabby. Then you'd get the blame.
Isn't it a Torosaurus or whatever? You're gonna frame me? Yeah.
Well, you said it would be obvious it was me, so I just suddenly thought, oh, okay,
I don't think it will be. There's a lot of 6'3" otters around. Rhode Island has tons of them.
But if he goes as me, that's brutal. I even have history in Rhode Island. People will know me.
Yeah, but if he's the director of OECI and he hasn't noticed that you're actually driving an ROV around Palau at Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. Gabby is just able to be two places at once. It's just
mild deflection, right? It's just mild deflection. It'll just be enough to distract him of like, hey, there's a triceratops stealing my rocks.
He's not going to be there.
I bet it's Gabby.
Yeah, where's Gabby?
Yeah, he's not going to be there. He won't know that I'm driving an ROV around Palau.
I got a secret for you. You know when we do telepresence? People on shore can hear you.
Yeah, but do they actually, though?
Well, Adam's the director of OECI, so
do you think he listens?
He has. It's his job.
Oh, okay.
He has no choice. He's the OECI director.
I'm surprised he hasn't given himself a weigh in on SPL from shore.
Yeah, because I never got the... He doesn't... He plays it pretty close to the vest. Like, he hasn't let on to me that...
I have one of these boxes in my office.
Oh, like with the screen and stuff on it?
Yeah, I've got the whole, the whole little SPL, everything.
Oh, you've got an... What?
Wow. You can just talk to us and you never have?
No,
Well, I have to get Dwight or whoever's running the inner space center has to patch them in.
Oh,
so there have been cruises when I've been patched in, yeah.
Oh, fun.
Wait, are you joking or are you not joking? I thought you were joking.
No.
And now I don't know anymore.
No, I don't think he's joking.
Success. I am not joking. I have actually run cruises from shore using those little boxes.
But does Adam have one of those boxes?
Well, he's got the whole of the inner space center, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we don't tell him.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you frame me, I might have trouble in the future with my career.
Don't want to ruin her reputation. Oh my gosh.
As a rock stealer.
I went and got all these rocks for Adam, and then turns out I got them for me.
I think what we need is... What I'm going to have to do is dress up as a triceratops. I'll bring a ghetto blaster playing circus music.
I think there's a Chrysogorgia right there.
Circus music.
And then if Adam opens the door, I'll say, no, Adam, that's a Chrysogorgia.